This market is dead and nothing is absolutely happening, right? No one is making money, you should just leave, and it's boring as fuck. Then, I have to ask a question. Why this guy made $100,000 in just 24 hours from yesterday? And why it is not you? Why you're not paying attention? Why you're not active as fuck in this market? Millionaires are being printed currently. You're taking liquidity in these trades currently, you're putting them in the longer term meme coin place, and then when retail comes, you're literally printing millions by doing nothing. How can you sit there and not be paying attention to the things that are happening in this market at this stage? Today I'm giving you 8 juicy meme coin picks with insane entries at this stage. Absolutely insane. As usual, you are early, you make all the money. You are late, you are fucking exit liquidity. Subscribe to this channel, press the like button, and let's start. There is absolutely no time to waste. And first guys, let's start with Mooncat. This is the charting that I was providing for several times. Initially I told you that if we don't hold this level, we're probably dumping, and you should probably be dumping your bags. And we essentially touched a level of 500,000 right here. Here I actually said that this is probably double bottom and a very nice entry point to enter into this coin. What happened right after? If you are paying attention and if you set up limit orders exactly the way I was explaining to you to set them up on Axiom, you would be up 3.3x in the market when everything is dead, nothing is happening, and things are just crazy. Right now I actually love this chart of Mooncat right here. We are again in the exact similar trend line. This is a very nice entry point and the playbook is exactly the same. We are either reversing back higher from this entry point or we are dumping lower, probably to retest and probably to form another higher low from my point of view. Guys, it's just a giant formation of cup and handle. This is the only pattern you should be focusing on meme coins out there. It happens every time, it happens everywhere. Just enter at your levels, just hold, just fucking make money. Next thing on the list is Tonic, and Tonic is absolutely beautiful in terms of the chart pattern actually prints. So as I was explaining, essentially, we have seen this chart pattern on the previous charts as well. We have low here, then we have huge capitulation and the sell-off of the current holders, and we are printing the second low. We've seen this pattern on many charts already. I'm constantly reminding you about this pattern. What we're usually receiving right after is the local bounce, and look how well this thing actually respects the levels. It just touches these levels they outlined before. It's insanely good. We're kind of trying to form cup and handle here essentially as well. I do believe somewhere around currently might be your entry point. If we are dropping below this level of $555,000 in market cap, I would honestly be dumping the position and probably waiting for the retest lower somewhere in the area from $300,000 to $350,000. So something like this. Other scenario is essentially us going higher from there. Bonk meta is very live out there. People are truly hunting for this type of coins, and Tonic is just a very nice cable play initially, and I think it will be doing well. Now we have a play on Ethereum, which I was not talking on before in terms of these videos where I'm just going through a set of meme coins. I wanted to give you this entry point right now because I do think it's a pretty fucking great one. So you can see we're in the trend line, but in the comparison to the previous trend lines, this one has a lower angle, which means it's far easier for the price action for the chart of the coin to actually sustain it moving further. I do believe it's a very nice entry point at this stage. I do believe we shall be continuing and we shall be going to new all-time highs from here. If we're breaking down your levels to entry, probably somewhere around $3.6 million, $2.6 million. However, I do not think it will be breaking down from these levels. I do think we're seeing a change of hands. I do think we're seeing people buying in at $5 million, and I do believe we shall continue with the market essentially being bullish as well. Next thing on the list is More, and it actually moves exactly the way I outlined in the charts 2 days ago. I was expecting for it to go lower, but essentially as the coin of the highest market cap, it did not too, but it specifically followed the pattern that I outlined. Why? Because I have seen that it is printing the cup and handle, and I have seen that we are at the bottom of the pattern, and we essentially just respected the pattern and went up. This space also respects parabola very much. So when you essentially see the kickoff of the parabolic movement, that's also a very nice entry point. So for example, in this case, you have seen this huge imbalance green candle, which shows a demand. There is absolutely no chance that if you are buying this green imbalance coin at the bottom for formation of the cup and handle at the start of the parabola, that you ever would be ending up in losses. buying these green candles is just one of the best things out there. If you bought somewhere in the middle, you would be up 50% with size. It has very, very nice liquidity, so 50% gain might not seem too much, but this one is with size. You have to understand this. Next thing on the list I have is Vibe, and to be honest, first time I'm actually talking about Vibe in these type of videos. And the reason I'm talking about, like, it's this older meme coin. It's kind of dead in terms of the chart out there. I just do like that it has this trend line, right? It's a very interesting trend line, but it still supports it. It still respects the trend line out there. So if we essentially zoom into the chart, right, what we would see is that we actually had multiple touches of the trend line, and each and every time historically, each and every time the touch of this trend line was actually a very, very nice time to buy, right? So if you bought essentially the previous touch, you would be receiving 4.7x's, right? Pretty nice on your money. If you bought the previous time when it touched the trend line, it also somewhere around 4.5x's. So I do believe that it's not an error to be buying at the current levels, because again, these videos, they are exactly to give you nice entry points for the coins out there. It doesn't matter much in terms of like what type of the coin you are. You can lose money on a great coin if you're entering at the bad spot. You can make money on a scam, on a shit coin, if you're actually entering at the proper level, if you can see these levels, if you can see the patterns, and you understand the psychology of the market participants out there. That's exactly the content, that's exactly the thing I'm sharing in these videos, and I'm trying to give you great entry points in terms of the coins I'm talking about. And in order to catch these great entry points, you also have to set up limit orders on Axiom in advance. There is a link on Axiom in the description. Make sure to subscribe. I will be opening a private channel for referrals only, where I will be able to share these updates in time, right as they are happening. So why I do like this trade is because you have clear invalidation. We are going lower below this level, which is $750,000. That's like 25% from here, but you can make it even lower. You just dump the whole thing. We are going higher, which we honestly can do, and that's just a nice entry, and that's just a nice setup in terms of the risk reward that you might have here, especially if we go into local all-time highs, which is more than $4 million. That's 3.5x at least. Now, Degen Spartan AI, the coin that I actually shared at the beginning of the video. A very swift and aggressive, I would say, cup and handle formation pattern, right? I won't be suggesting to be buying currently. If you like the coin really much and if you're very bullish, I would set up just some levels out there, right? So probably you might be setting out limit orders somewhere in this area from 8.3 to 11.8 million dollars, and the bottom touch of the essentially resistance right here, which is $6.6 million. If this coin continues, $6.6 million would be a goated entry into this thing, and I do believe the only way you would be able to catch this one if you would have limit order, buy limit order set on this coin. Next thing on the list is Petunia, and it's very interesting that like these AI plays, they're actually coming back. I've been talking about some of them before, and right now, guys, look at this chart. Again, a lot of the coins in the previous returns of the market, in the previous return of different metas on Solana, AI metas, they were actually printing these things, and some of them, which is absolutely insane if you think about that, some of them were actually reaching new all-time highs after these type of movements, right? So again, you got to respect the parabola in crypto. It's a bit degen to be buying currently, right? But we might be at the start of parabola out there. I would throw some money into it even at the current levels, right? Because it's very, very hard to predict and properly outline like what are the levels here. Chart history is not enough, right? But just through this pattern, I would just throw a bit, I would just wait, and I would just see what would essentially be happening. Invalidation would probably be us going to $800,000. They would just dump the whole thing. It's also pretty nice risk reward, and that's why I'm essentially sharing that. Eliza, also the same type of thing, right? They just bottom dying and then just bomb in one day. They're 70%, and you still say the market is dead and nothing is happening. This is your alt season. This is where retail is. This is where the inefficiency. This is where money are. You have to stay in this part of the market. No one cares about alts, no one cares about BTC. It's a different type of market at this stage. This is what matters currently. $2.9 million. Interesting chart formation before we got rejected from these levels, right? Heavily, to be honest, and like we kind of died. So we reached these resistance points. We are currently here. So if the coin will continue to be bullish, you probably should be buying on the proper reclaim of this level, right? Once we essentially tap it, maybe one more time, this would be your entry point for the move up. if we would be going lower, I would essentially look to be buying somewhere in the area of $2.2 to $2.4 million market cap. We would essentially be putting like a third bottom. If we would discard this part as a deviation, right, we would put similar third bottom. We have some trading here, some trading here, so something like this might essentially be happening here. A clear outline plan for playing with this coin as well. Some you can swing trade, some you can take out your initials, some you can just hold waiting for higher for this coin. This is the whole overview for today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Stay healthy and rich. I should not be seeing you tomorrow. Maybe I will, maybe I don't, but day after I should most definitely see you. Have a very nice weekend ahead. Bye bye.